Game on, ladies! The quarter-final best-of-3 series between Cash, starting at the top right of Concealed Hill, and down to the bottom of the map, we have Sonic. Orc versus Nightelf in the quarter-final, and a best-of-3 series in our hands. First one, actually, for Ryzing Cup number 12, and so far we had a pretty fantastic tournament. There's actually another really hype match that theoretically could still pan out. So Spiral already made it through his game in round, I think, 5, 6, and is now waiting in the quarterfinal for his next opponent, and it seems like there's a chance he's going up against Xlord. That would be a fun one too. So already, Ancient of War, a little bit fast forward here towards the camp. By the way, what kind of setup is Concealed Hill? How the fuck do you conceal a hill? That always seemed weird to me. I mean, it's a little bit strange. I mean, I don't really know what to think about that. I mean, of course, there's a little bit of a hilly territory, but how exactly do you conceal that? I mean, hills and mountains just in general are usually the ones that you see pretty easily. So I'm not quite sure how exactly they're concealing that thing, but I mean, by all means. So apparently, there's some kind of, like, I honestly don't know. But there's a lot of things that don't really make a lot of sense here, but we're just gonna roll with it. For now, we have the Blade Master as the first hero, and down to the bottom of the map, outside of the first archer being produced, we have the Keeper of the Groove. He's gonna groove around in his little grove. And, of course, already a couple of disembodied heads are just floating around trees, which magically gives them lumber. Not quite sure how that works, but hey, let's go for it. So the tree hugger at the bottom of the map is already setting all of this up for the first quick creep here, trying to get a couple of experience points in. And in our best-of-3 here, who's gonna take the lead? Up towards the top, that Blade Master is gonna come out soon in order to play a little bit around, and with the Voodoo launch perfectly timed, there's going to be a quick sell on the town portal, couple of items, and it's Keeper time. Off with the Circle of Nobility. First one to grab right here, and a little bit of an entangle against that peon right over here. Peons, honestly, if you look at the portrait for us just a second, you know that peons know that they're just fucked. I mean, honestly, that peon is already looking so sad. There's like no menace there whatsoever. That's the most timid orc that you've ever seen in your entire life. And if you know that your only job is really to just run across the map to give some scout information, and then eventually you're going to be wrecked by your opponent, you know you're in trouble. Talking about things that are getting wrecked here, one thing that is definitely going to get wrecked is that Ancient of War. Yeah, well, actually, those wisps might just have made it in time. And indeed they did. Wow, that was good timing. But at least one of them just went down, and he might be able to get a little bit more out of this. Yes, 2 wisps eliminated. Good move by Cash. He can't get the Ancient of War. Looked for a moment like that would be destroyed, but instead he got two of the wisps. Then again, we're seeing the Keeper trying to return the favor here. Goes up to the top. Sad peon is sad because sad peon is dead. One down, second entangle coming in, and that Blade Master is far away. So that's another Orc peon already eliminated, and with 2 Circles of Nobility in the inventory, there's another one about to fall. Blade Master's on the move, but that Keeper is a little bit mean. So yeah, finally a little bit of counterplay, but that is the 4th one that he takes down. Those poor peons, they didn't do anything. They came out, they said work, work, and then they were trying to be useful, and all that you do is kill them one after another. Holy shit, he is destroying that economy. Like, seriously. That's 5 peons that he just eliminated. The Keeper is down to 150 hit points, but he doesn't care. And yeah, that's a little bit insane. So yeah, thank you very much for observers who spam useless shit that nobody really needs here. I can't catch up. Go, Shike. Yes. Go, go. He's actually going up against Kivikaki, if I'm not mistaken. And off we go. Keeper. He needs to be careful. If he needs to town portal out, that would be... Yep. That would be at least a bit of a loss. But hashtag worth it. That's all that I have to say. If you take 5 peons down of your opponent, you hit level 2 with it, then by all means. Now we have also a couple of hunts in play. Moonwell is out, and off we go. First one is already attacking. There's a lot of aggression from Sonic right now. I mean, the boy is going for it. Second hunt on the way to the top right. Blade Master is trying to at least snag some experience away at the bottom of the map, and also, of course, get the item here. The giant sea turtle is dropped, and the slivers of agility boost the main attribute a little bit. Tech into tier 2 is already completed, which means it's Shadow Hunter time. And in this particular setup, we're going to see some Serpent Wards to boot. But this is a pretty aggressive setup. With all those peons taken down, Sonic was just simply saying, hey, I think we're going for it, boys. And that Grunt is now also entangled, also in trouble, and Cash is just losing units left, right, and center. It's getting a bit bananas here, seriously. I mean, he's losing tons of shit. At least the town portal was already denied earlier, so that's something, but now that we have more and more hunts on the map, and even another archer, there's more aggression coming in, and he's just sitting around at the tavern, looking down to the bottom of the map. That tech is nearly done, so then we can talk about the second hero, of course, which we should get any second, and well, there it is, Alchemist time. Off we go. Okay, with that, 7 watts out, piercing damage against the unarmored Huns, that's going to be quite important here. But Sonic is really starting to apply some pressure, and there's another quick setup against the Grunt, too far forward, good damage, and that's another Grunt that's dead, isn't it? Yep, Grunt is down too, trying to make a bit of a play for the Alchemist, but he's still able to get out, gets blocked by a Hunt for just a second. But Sonic is now at 37 supply against the 28 that we have for Cash. Granted, only game number 1 here. But Sonic is coming out swinging in this first game. And as long as that Keeper is still running around with a bit of mana for another Entangle, you know you might be in trouble. So that's additional experience, and we currently see for him. There's not even a level 2 hero on the side of Cash. He's really in trouble with this now. But at least thanks to the base setup, that Orc Burrow is covering some of the base, but he's about to lose the Altar of Storms over here. Hunt is getting microed back too, there's more damage coming in. Quick focus on the Blade Master, Alchemist needs to be careful. Alchemist, hello sir, purge and kill. Yeah, Sonic overstepping slightly here. That was definitely avoidable. Nearly losing another Hunt. And those purges from the Shamans are obviously pretty neat here in order to hunt these units down slowly. Archer is also in trouble. Blade Master wants to get the kill, as everybody is rushing towards the healing fountain. It's still night, so of course why wouldn't you? But over here, as you can tell, that Blade Master still wants to kill. And doesn't get it. No, gets the hit connected, but that doesn't really help him here. Shadowman already being used. The problem is, it's actually starting... Ooh! This one's dead. I mean, come on. Windwalk? Anything? Nope. Yep, there's finally a hit. That took a while. Now, but as we're actually having at least daytime approaching, that's of course a thing. So this Archer is not going to make it either. That Blade Master is definitely going to flank in for that kill. Yep, there's another quick hit. Archer, that sound is just absolutely weird. With 36 supply, Cash is starting to stabilize a bit, but the expansion approach at the bottom of the map is already underway. 37 for Sonic, so supply-wise, they're actually on the same numbers now. Yeah, a little bit of a bait and a surround against the Orgalord, but in comes Sonic! Yeah? Runs in. Super Sonic trying to snack the experience away. That didn't work out. Didn't get the item either. Both over for the Blade Master, who now has the Ancient Django of Endurance. So he gets the TC aura with all of it. Still level 2. Actually, on the level side, he has started to take over an experience. So Cash has actually started to stabilize here, which is pretty impressive if you think about how this game started. Losing 5, 6 peons, and then on top of that, also multiple grunts. That was definitely a problem. Those entangles from the Keeper did a number on him. But now Sonic is still relying on tier 1 units. He has only Huntress. He has the +1 attack upgrade at least. Needs to get the Alchemist, of course, to a higher level. But that Shadow Hunter in particular is still farming experience, going from one creep to another. Has now also, with the Sentry Wards, a great tool against Shadow Melt, if we're going to see that used during the next night cycle again. And the Blade Master is doing what he does best, annoying the opponent. Dust of Appearance, then again, is of course always a bit of an issue. Shouldn't be able to sneak anything away here. Actually, tries, but not successful. Doesn't get the item, doesn't get the experience, and on the item side we now also have a Scroll of Healing. But of course, the bigger deal right now, another quick Sentry Ward grab. And in this case against the Blade Master, that's kind of neat. But the Huntress are also in, so they help too. Owls everywhere, that's what we're going to see eventually. By now the Shadow Hunter is on level 2.5, I might add, and is soon going to get level 3, which is obviously another big problem. Blade Master still fine, but you gotta be a little bit careful if you're going... He still has the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability in the inventory, so even if he gets entangled, he can play around that. But you don't really want to use it if you don't have to. Crystal Ball now in as well, gets the Tomb too, but there's a level 3, which is the more important part of all of this. since now we're looking at level 2 Serpent Wards, and if you're trying to rely on those hunts any longer, then that's piercing damage is going to do a lot of work. Also, Sonic with 45 supply now looking for the expansion. In the main base, if you're just taking a quick look here, there's not really a lot of tech that he's currently trying to put in play, so he's still relying heavily on those hunts, and eventually that's going to be an issue. With your opponent rocking level 2 Serpent Wards and also an army that is starting to become pretty neat, you're gonna have a problem there in the long run. 39 supply for Cash, but again, hero levels aren't too shabby. Keeper at least is on 3 now too. But he has a couple of items now, and Scroll of Healing amongst them. So here's the setup, and it's all about the Serpent Wards at this point. If you really want to win this fight, it's all about that. And trying to lock the units now down also with Purge, and that is going to be the end of at least hunt number... What?! I mean, come on, dude. At least they did with the last one. No hit there. A little bit of a whisk detonate attempt against the Shamans and against also the Shadow Hunter. Not quite. Lightning Shield and goodbye hunt. One down, but still Cash is starting to retreat here since he just doesn't have the numbers at this point. Healing Spray is keeping the boys alive here. That hunt, by the way, is the luckiest hunt in the universe. I mean, look at that thing. 21 hit points. Someone focus that. There we go. Nice Serpent 1 targeting from Cash. 46 supply for him right now, 43 for Sonic. As another one down, that's a level 3 now for the Blade Master, so that's already a nice setup. So all of a sudden we're seeing more units fall, more experience coming in. There's still aggression coming from Sonic, but Cash is expanding too. Sonic is not the only one that's trying to build another base. Up to the top left we have the Orc player with a great haul of his own. Has armor upgrades now for his units. Good surround though after the entangle. Made easy of course by it. Yep. That great haul, nearly done, not quite yet. Grunt still running away. Alchemist on the follow. 48 supply for Sonic, and Cash is still sitting at 46. But he's soon gonna have the additional income too. And his heroes, as they gain experience, are gonna become more and more of a threat, especially to the Keeper. At any point, a good setup against the, well, Keeper in particular, and a couple of crits, and that bad boy is toast. So there's a Hunt that he could theoretically take down. The Lightning Shield is already going to complete that, but the Grunt is lost in the process too, so it's pretty much a trade here. Yep, Lightning Shield takes this one down. There's another Acid Spray. Another Acid Bomb as the Alchemist comes in. Every single time I see that item, dependent of energy, I think he has a Blink Dagger. I admit I play too much Dota and Dota 2 in my time, but every single time I see that thing, I'm like, oh my god, he has a Blink Dagger. He's gonna blink in. And then I'm realizing, oh, wait a second, that might look nearly exactly the same, but it's actually something different. So, either way, he has the Pendant of Energy, so a huge mana pool now for the Alchemist. The fight continues. Sonic at 55 went over into the low upkeep. Cash is just on the run here. Cash is trying, but he's struggling, of course. Those hunts are just overwhelming. It's 2-1 upgrades that we have on the tier 1 units. Nearly a surround on the Shadow Hunter, who's starting to run out of mana. He's nearly on level 4, but that doesn't help you jack shit if you don't have the mana pool to get those chain waves through. Gets a few more kills in, though, and that's important. And here's the level up. But he's just absolutely on the run. The only thing that he can drop at this point are a couple of additional Serpent Wards. And those bad boys help. But the problem is that now Sonic has realized that there's an expansion up. And he's preventing any mining from it by taking down those PNs one at a time. Sonic is at 46 supply and Cash at 47. But still, with the expansion revealed, there is a chance of the Nightelf player just interrupting mining for long enough to build himself a big army and just overwhelm his opponent. And the fight is all over the place right now. I mean, we have Hunts following the Shadow Hunter here, being attacked in the main base. A couple of units were still busy at the expansion. A Grunt down here aggroed into attacking the Alchemist. And that's a problem now too. Yeah, top side. That's where we currently have our little setup here. Blade Master, nearly level 4. But Cash is holding, and he's holding nicely. And again, the higher the heroes get, better for him. Even a mana potion now in the inventory of the Shadow Hunter, so mana problems are going to be a thing of the past for him soon. When it comes to upgrades, we still have 2 armor upgrades on those grunts, so he got an additional one, but doesn't have any attack upgrades just yet. But down to the bottom of the map, as you can tell, there's not really a lot of additional attack that we're seeing for the Nightelf. He's upgrading his army, but he's still sticking it out with Hunts as much as he can in the matchup here. And that is all fair and square, but his problem is definitely that Shadow Hunter with those Serpent Wards is going to become a big issue once that he hits level 5. And with another Hunt falling, that's some free XP that he gets right here. 55 supply for Sonik, again crossing over into the low upkeep. Cash at 46. But he's trying to delay all of this as much as he can. There's another potential entangle. Healing wave. Alright, so far so good. Micros the grunt back, so that is helping out. Rest of the army is moving in. It is focusing the Hunts down one after another. Lightning Shield on the Blade Master is definitely helping with all of this. The heals come through and another Hunt falls. The Blade Master therefore on level 4. A bit of body blocking is also happening as the Hunts are just moving to the left and right. But up to the top there's another Force of Nature cast as the Keeper moves towards the expansion in an attempt to shut down mining once again. Cash at 51 supply, crossing over into the low upkeep now too. Sonik flanking, trying to go for the Shamans here, trying to get a couple more units destroyed. And there's another healing wave right away. And with those chain heals, we're seeing a lot of good sustain from the Orc player, but he needs to be careful from the Blade Master in particular. Still has the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Good micro from Sonik now too, as he's putting the Hunts out of harm's way, trying to force them straight towards the back, and another Grunt is biting the dust. One down. Still a bit more heal. There's a healing spray on the Alchemist as he's trying to keep his own army here safe. When it comes to the upgrades, we have two Hunts now. And not a single attack upgrade for the Orc player. Cash is at 53 supply though. 58 for Sonik, but he needs to hold on to the expansion. That's the biggest problem. If that thing falls, then there's just no way for Cash to recover here. Just none whatsoever. The Keeper is now on level 4. Orc player is doing way better when it comes to hero levels. But he needs to force this back. And his army is actually starting to look a little bit in trouble. There's still a mana potion on the Shadow Hunter though, so that helps. Another Grunt down, and that's a level up for the Alchemist as well. Whereas we are seeing Sonik just microing his units away. Blade Master on 100 hit points. And there's finally the mana potion. Mana potion is finally used, and that helps him to heal the army up a little bit more. Another Serpent Ward in the back. There's the Lightning Shield, and he's still trying to take those Hunts down, but the upgrades are really doing a number on Cash now. And he's about to lose his Blade Master, just barely using the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Another heal from the Shadow Hunter, but he's just losing way too much ground. 41 supply on the side of the Orc player, as Sonik is sitting as 52. Yes, Serpent Wards or no Serpent Wards, he's in trouble. 4.6 on both heroes. Level 5 might make a difference, but as already highlighted earlier, shutting down the income here on the expansion side is a problem. And if he just focuses it down, there's no PNs to actually repair it. Here comes the next attack. Blade Master in trouble. Wind walks out. There's a Khaldor now snacking up a Hunt. But still, things are looking grim for Cash. He's down to 38 supply and he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble right now. And it seems like this base is going to fall one way or another. There's no PN to repair it, so who's going to save that thing? And that's that. Base down, double income for Sonik. Cash in trouble, trying to recover, trying to somehow turn the tide here. If he can get a quick kill in, then maybe he has a chance. He's trying to make the play actually for the Keeper. And that Keeper was completely forgotten. Does he have a staff? He doesn't have a staff of preservation either. He passes the potion over. The Keeper is toast. The Keeper is down. He forgot about the Keeper and loses it. No Scroll of Town Portal, no Staff of Preservation, nothing to save him, no Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, Shadow Hunter on level 5. That was a big kill. Big kill for Cash, but it might have been a bit too little too late. Because, well, Sonik, he has the resources to rebuy him. Needs a little bit more supply though, so he needs to either wait for a Moonwell or detonate a Wisp. Yeah, Keeper is back. And yeah, it was a nice move from Cash, but it just wasn't enough. Blade Master's nearly on level 5, Shadow Hunter is on 5, but he pretty much has to rely on that army right now. So the idea is to take down a few more of those camps, get some items, and make sure that he also has the experience to get the Blade Master to 5. Definitely something that he should be able to pull off. But the bigger question then is, can he take his opponent's army down? Because Sonik is just mercilessly attacking right now, and for good reason, why wouldn't he? Fountain of Health could play a big role here now too. Still trying to get the kill against the Red Drake, and he should get that. And as an item, Ilaria's Flute of Accuracy. Wah, wah. Not quite what he wanted there, but still, the fight is still ongoing. And they're starting to jump straight up to the top, trying to get the base down. Cash is losing Orc Burrows like there's no tomorrow. Another snipe attempt. By now we have those wards on level 3. He's just sniping the shit out of it. And thanks to the bouncing of the glaives, we're seeing those peons now destroyed as well. He needs to take those hunts down as quickly as he can, but he's losing all of his peons in the process. Big problem. Sonik, on the other hand, is really trying to get that base destroyed. If that base doesn't fall, if he loses the hunts before that, then he's going to be screwed. But he's going to get in the damage in. There's not enough peons left. Cash was too late, and despite massive losses for Sonik, all he has to do is simply move back home and survive the next attack. 42 supply for Cash against 46 for Sonik. But of course, there's no base anymore for Cash. He doesn't have the resources to get himself another town hall. Could, of course, sell a couple of items. The question that remains is, how will Sonik react now? Is he? Yeah, he's actually sending a couple of units topside. And he should. He's just going to base race his opponent. As a Night Elf, you can always play Hide the Ancient. So that's something that he could easily move through. There's not a single peon in those Orc Burrows. Nothing is going to attack there. And Cash is now in a position where he, of course, is looking for the fight. He's going to get this one destroyed for sure, but the problem is he doesn't have a town portal. And time is working in favor of Sonik. Sonik is just going to destroy the top base, and that's all that he has to do here. A straight-up fight would be a bit of a problem for him. He lost a lot during that last encounter. But Cash is pretty much in a checkmate position here. Cash has nowhere to go. I mean, what are you going to do? He can't rebuild the Great Hall. He can't rebuild anything. He doesn't have the resources. And more importantly, he doesn't have any peons left. So it's not like he has a chance there unless his opponent throws the game. Sonik has won this. The only person that can beat Sonik right now is Sonik. If Sonik has a massive brain fart, for example, he's maybe not going to win this game. But as the game ooh, well, talking brain farts, the flank is at least going to hit him. That could be the... well, yeah, he has a portal this time. Yeah, he has a portal. So he is going to be Gucci here. The portal is in, and every unit that he kills is hurting the opponent double. There should still be income in the main base. Actually, is the gold mine already empty? Gold mine is empty. I guess that means that, yeah, Tree of Ages, slowly but steadily walking over to the right side. Which actually makes me re-evaluate the situation a little bit. Does Cash still have a chance here? I mean, I guess Cash has a chance if he somehow engages into that army. Because it's gonna take Sonik a long time to get that tree mining at the bottom right. So that's actually true. The problem is there's not a lot of structures left. And I don't really think that there's anything that Cash can do about that base. He needs to defend his own base, so he's being pushed into a defensive position no matter what he does. Sonik has 50 supply, Cash has 40. Cash has to win the fight. The problem is really the town portal that we see for Sonik, because that allows him to rush away, whatever. But the game isn't as decided yet as I thought initially. I really thought that Sonik still had gold in his gold mine in the main base. So there is a chance that Cash actually wins this through the heroes. He needs to get unit kills in. If he can really just take this base or this army down to an extent that it doesn't even... that he can easily defend his base and maybe set a few units aside to attack, then it's a different story. The problem is, whenever the Keeper is sneaking in to just simply cast Force of Nature, that's all that he needs to do. And without... I mean, he doesn't have Hex or anything, so Staff of Teleportation, for example, would be an absolute dream for Sonik at this point. If he gets a Staff of Teleportation, all that he has to do is sneak the Keeper a few times into the Orc player's main base and cast Force of Nature. And then try and take a couple of structures down, and eventually he's going to win the game. Right now he has also level 5 on the Alchemist, so Sonik is still in a position where he's massively ahead over Cash. But there is a chance that if he screws up and makes a big mistake, that Cash can maybe turn it around. Get wrecked! Yep, just sitting on the tree, and Sonik is like, wait a second, why can't I actually uproot my tree? So, yeah. Tree of Ages against Blade Master. Yeah, I guess the Blade Master's gonna win eventually if nobody comes over to repair it, but you already guessed it. There is the Light Train. So, yeah. That's the thing. Okay. Alchemist is on the way, as I said. Level 5 for him. And that Blade Master doesn't really have a lot of hit points, a lot of mana points left. Those detonates were a problem, and if he now gets entangled, that's going to be the end of the Blade Master. He doesn't have anything else. Well, he has a little bit. Detonate, maybe? Yes, there it is. There's the detonate, and now he's going to die. Exactly. If not for the detonate, he would have had the mana to actually walk out of this, but now he's going to fall for sure, and there's nothing that Cash can do to get the hero back. So goodbye Blade Master. That's probably a level 5 for the Keeper too, I'd say. Yep. And level 5 for him. Yeah, Sonic is gonna lose the base down at the bottom. Honestly, at this point, he could just simply have portaled in, I guess. But he's gonna go for the base straight towards the top. And there is still one Wisp sitting up here. And in theory, he can still build structures. He has enough resources to do that. So, yeah, that's a problem. Sonic is at 44 supply now. Looking over to Cash, we see him at 35. Those 35 supply then, to be granted, is full-on army supply. But Sonic has 2 upgrades on those hunts. And, yeah, I mean, the only thing that Cash has now is that Shadow Hunter. Then again, Shadow Hunter is nearly level 6. So, with a few purges on the Keeper, he might actually be able to force something here. Surround. Ooh, another purge. He's gonna be in trouble. The problem is that the base is getting destroyed at the same time. He's losing way too much here. But that Keeper is eating tons of damage right now. Yeah, doesn't have a Town Hall anymore. That bad boy is down, and the Shadow Hunter is in. Shadow Hunter on level 6, and off we go. The healing wave. Is Cash actually gonna make this? Very likely not. It's just the structure. Sonic is just going for structures. Sonic is just saying, fuck it, let's just kill everything here. He might not make it. Guys, he's losing everything. Sonic might lose this. Sonic is actually about to throw the game. This is getting clutch. What the fuck? Level 7 on the Shadow Hunter. He's not gonna kill it. There's no way. He's not gonna win this. He's losing everything. He miscalculated. Cash actually is taking the game. What the hell, Sonic? What are you doing? Oh my god, Sonic! This was pretty much a win. He's at 13 supply against 35. One structure is still there. I mean, dude, keep a few units back. You know he has pretty much nothing. You know he has no mine. He keeps something there. Staff of Teleportation. Okay, thank God. That was important. But Sonic is revealed now. I cannot believe that just happened. I cannot believe that just happened. All he has to do is drop a couple of Serpent Wards over here, and that thing is not going to die. Drop one after another. Yeah, that's the Huns already. He has 3 Huns left. That's all that he has. Unbe-fucking-leavable. Sonic must be so tilted right now. He thought that he could actually just go in and drop the structures, not even deal with the army, and just go for a straight-up attack. And it turns out that's a big no-no. Yeah, that detonate isn't happening there either. I can't believe this happens. I honestly don't know why at this point Cash is currently running across the map here. I don't know what he's looking for, to be honest. Sonic has been revealed. And unless I'm crazy, he didn't neither have the resource... What is that? Ah, okay, he's creeping for gold. Sorry, like, I'm brain farting now too. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what happened here. I mean, he heals up his units at the fountain, but the only thing he has to do is to kill the main base, of course. This is insane. Level 7.5 Shadow Hunter. Yeah, Shadow Hunter is dropping a couple of Serpent Wards, and yeah, he brings the grunts over too. But yeah, this is insane. Yeah, level 3 Serpent Wards, 2 of them. Have fun. The Moonhill's the only thing that he has. He's still scouting there. Shaman is everywhere. There's 1 hunt on the run. 2 of strength over here. But of course, this is pretty much that. Sonic is trying to get a little bit more gold so that he can get some heroes back, but this isn't happening. That's insane. I can already hear the mouse being thrown at the wall. I would be frustrated. I would be pissed if I'm Sonic in this case. But yeah, as it happens, I mean, as you can see, this is that. Yeah, he already portals back. I don't even know why. I mean, he probably just figured that he can leave the rest here, so he expects the Hail Mary. And for good reason, I suppose. But he can just simply snipe 1 unit with the Kodo. Has the Serpent Wards. That's a little bit of an attempt to get... I guess he's trying to get experience there. I mean, what else is he going to try to do with those hunts? But this is, of course, going to fall slowly and steadily. At this point, I'm asking myself why Sonic is still in this. He has 3 hunts, and that's it. 3. 3 hunts and that's that. He's trying desperately to get enough gold. He's trying to go for the camps. He was actually looking all over the place if there's still a couple of camps left. So he's trying to grab this one now. But as you can tell, he's just losing more and more and more. There's nothing left for him. This is bonkers. I can't imagine. Like, how did we end up here? Sonic had this in the bag. Sonic had this pretty much in the bag. Yeah, maybe he would have had to lame around his opponent a little bit, but then at some point he made a bit miscalculation. He thought he could just go for the straight up attack and focus the structures down, that he didn't even have to deal with the army, and as it turns out, that wasn't really the case. So now, now we have the Ancient of Wonders doing his thing, another Moonwell is about to fall. Guys, he doesn't even have the supply anymore to do anything here. This is it. This is his game. There's nothing to be done. I mean, I honestly don't understand why Sonic isn't tapping out. He literally doesn't have a chance anymore. Sonic has 9 supply that he can't do anything with because he can literally not get another structure. Like, nothing. I mean, even if you go for sappers or something, like, what are you going to do with that? You can't get those in.
A player's forces are under attack.
There's nothing that he can do. There's the Hail Mary now, finally. Like, with this army guarding this, it's just checkmate. Yeah, he's moving in for it. But, of course, good luck with that. Yeah, there's this the happy snacking, and this is game. Unbelievable. Cash with a 1-0 against Sonic. Nicely done. No GG, no nothing. Was defeated. Cash is victorious and takes the lead in the best of 3. What a start. Unbelievable game. GG and well played. Game on, ladies! Yeah, well, we are in game number 2 indeed. So, at this point, a lead actually for Cash, as crazy as it might sound, it looked for long stretches of game number 1 as if it would be an easy victory for Sonic, especially after he was able to take the expansion of his opponent down. But Cash, I mean, he persevered. Really impressive. Great play by him. Cash with the lead in the best of 3 series at the quarterfinal right now. And that's pretty sexy. So down to the bottom of the map, we currently have Sonic, probably a little bit tilted in the attempt to force this to game number 3. We are Northern Isles, and up to the top right, Cash himself. I wouldn't have bet a single cent on Cash winning the first game after he lost the expansion. It really looked like there was no way for Sonic to actually lose that. And then Sonic, he YOLO'd a lot of his units into his opponent's base, trying to take down the Great Hall, which he did, by the way, and therefore successfully pretty much checkmated Cash. But then instead of playing a little bit of a longer, drawn-out game where he slowly nibbled away at the hit points in the opponent's main base, he just simply tried to go for, I don't want to call it a Hail Mary, it wasn't really, but just like for a brute force approach to take the structures down. And what can I say? It didn't really work out. Cash never really gave up on it. He took his opponent's expansion down and then was able to also deny additional income through the Tree of Ages that traveled over. But a pretty impressive setup and well played by Cash. I mean, gotta give the guy some credit here for those plays. So that was well done. And Sonic maybe underestimating a couple of these situations. To be fair though, there's obviously always the situation where as an observer you can see everything on the map, so it seems so much easier than when you're a player and you have limited vision. So from Sonic's perspective, he probably wasn't quite in the know. How much money does my opponent have? What can he theoretically still get there? How is this gonna pan out? But well, as it turned out, good setup from Cash and he wins game 1. Pretty impressive from him. Yeah, now that Wisp is not going to make it, I suppose. I mean, eventually it's going to be taken down. And, well, as all of this happens, we have the Keeper on the way again. And last game, this is how it all started. Last game, this was how Sonic was able to take down, I think it was 5-6 peons in total. 1 scouting and then 5 in the main base. But this time, it's a little bit of a different story. This time, that Blade Master sees a lot quicker what's going on here, and Sonic might still be able to get a little bit of damage in, but not as much. Sonic in the oversupply right now, so the good old Moonwell cancel to free up an extra point of supply that you can use. Burrows everywhere immediately. It's like, yeah, not this time. But of course, we don't have Entangle as a level 1 talent yet for him anyways. It's instead Force of Nature that he's just skilled into. And Keeper is already getting a little bit of experience here. But is forcing the cancel. Or is he? Barely. Yeah, that's a cancel right there. Did he actually? Got the experience for that thing. Hello. Okay. Cash. Blade Master at least got a bit of XP too. But now we have the barracks about to be completed. And, well, off we go. I mean, Sonic obviously has to dig deep at this point. He must be pretty annoyed after last game. I wouldn't be surprised if the keyboard lost a key or two in the process. I was already expecting him to tell the admin that he needs a little bit longer because he needs to put his mouse back together after throwing it against the wall. So, I'm not quite sure if Sonic is the type in this series where he just says, okay, whatever, let's focus on map number 2, or where he tilts a little bit and shows some emotions, which would be very understandable. Either way, for now, we have him in game number 2 with the attempt, of course, to turn this around and take this series with a 2-1 now to reach this semi-final. And as I've been harping on about during the entire tournament already, this is kind of important for most of these players, since it's not only about you qualifying, but you want to make sure that you have a good position in the seeding, so that you don't end up playing against Happy in round number 1, just to give one example. Who, by the way, is not here to play in this tournament because he's currently at DreamHack in Anaheim, so he's playing in North America, which gives, of course, a lot more hope to all of the European players that have stayed at home for this. Blade Master is already underway at the bottom of the map, trying to sneak in a couple of attacks against Wisps in particular, if he gets the chance, or just simply sneak some experience points away. Nobody's creeping over here. Where could the Nightelf be? Good shot is this one. Already the Hunt's out again, racing across the map here. Blade Master trying to get that Keeper as low as he possibly can. I mean, he's the one with the healing self, so why not? Try to drain those Moonwells this way. And as long as there is no level 2 for the Keeper, there can't be an Entangle either. And that's pretty much all that you need to know there. Wouldn't do that if there was still an Entangle available. But Moonwells are currently getting drained quite a bit. Up towards the top, Stronghold tech has been reached, and that Shadowhunter is on the way again. Plus the Spirit Lodge that we've seen in the last game, so the exact same pattern that we had for Cash in game number 1 is now emerging in game number 2. With one big difference, Cash didn't nearly lose as much in the early game, so far at least, as he did in the first game. So no 5-6 Wisps that got taken, Peons that got taken out, no Grunts that were lost yet. That's a pretty important point here, actually, for him. So Sonic is at 32 supply right now. Is a little bit late when it comes to the second hero here, but the Trio of Ages tech has been completed, so he's going to grab the Alchemist now. Likely. Blade Master is still there, though. Yep, Alchemist is in. And with all the aggression, we already have a little bit of free patterns here on the side of the Shadowhunter, so he's going to try and use those Serpent Wards to get himself a quick level 2. Hitting the camp on the right side is just going to do that for you. There's the level 2, and the Scroll of the Beast. Nice item also for those early fights. But a little bit of a twist. We have an Ancient Protector being built here, just outside the vision range of Cash. Or did he just catch that? I'm actually not sure if he saw that. I think he didn't. But yeah, that might change things. Now that we have the Keeper on level 2 as well, he can play with Entangle a little bit. And he has also found a Wand of Illusion, so it's all time for the Huntress to shine. And there's the Protector. Yes, nice setup. And there's the Entangle and nearly the kill. Holy moly, that was a close one. Clutch call there. Able to get it out. But now that we have the Ancient Protector in play, that changes things up slightly. But already, Hunts are getting attacked slowly by those Serpent Wards in level 1. And of course now we have also a Demolisher being produced. Kinda needs one. Because against not only the Hunts it's going to prove to be useful with the siege damage against the unarmored units, but also that Ancient Protector is going to be a nuisance as the game continues. The forward Voodoo launch is about to be taken down. That's already a bit of a setback, and Sonic is just going full on aggression. He's done with this shit, ladies. He's just going for it at this point. And with +1 attack upgrades on those Hunts, the bouncing of the glaives does a fair amount of damage. Yeah, that's a bad spot for the Demolisher to spawn, actually. I mean, that's a really bad one. Then again, the Alchemist is also in a really bad spot, so that's a quick kill. Alchemist down, Demolisher is also getting demolished, and the Hunts are taking a bit of a beating too. Archer's about to fall, and I guess that isolates the Ancient Protector enough so that he can get an easy kill against this one. Grunt needs to be microed back, and guys, that's bad news for Sonic now. Initially, it actually looked not too bad, and once the Demolisher spawned at the front, It was nearly the shutdown against the siege unit, but the alchemist being killed in the process, that's of course trouble. Now we have level 2 units on both sides, and yep, that grunt is dead. Alright, Keeper alone trying to get a little bit more done. Interrupts also the Shadow Hunter here, but Purge is out. Gets one Purge in, there's a town portal, keep that in mind, and yeah, I guess at this point he's going to get away. It's not like we have Hex or anything. Attack. Well, there's a Purge after the Scroll of Speed has been taken. He needs the TP. Not even close, bro. 3 hit points. Yeah, that was a little bit clutch. If there's a crit, then he's dead. So that could have definitely been the end here. You could argue that it is the end for Sonic, or likely at least, but then again, we saw game 1, so we shouldn't probably go that far. In terms of upgrades, we have 2 attack upgrades for Sonic. He's sitting at 42 supply. But Cash himself, 35 supply and more experience, already heavily ahead when you compare the 2 players in XP. Well, at least he will be after this camp. Ring of Protection +4. But this is still a bit of an issue. Sonic is trying to continue the aggression and build an expansion at the same time. Okay, one hunt, trying to turn it here quickly against it. Bit low, there's a Purge, and down. Okay, one down, but Keeper could now go for a bit of a move against this. Doesn't have one anymore. Yeah, one over there on the left side already eliminated, so the hunt dead. But here's the Entangle, and that's most likely going to drop the Grunt here. This is the mana looking at on the Shadow Hunter, not really too great, so it's not like he can use the Healing Wave to keep that alive. Bottom left, just now building the Tree of Life, has so far not been spotted. That's not over by any means just yet, but Sonic has definitely taken a bit of a beating in the last fight, and the level 3 on the Shadow Hunter is going to do a lot for him. Doesn't have it yet though, even after taking the Treant down. Couldn't get that. And with all those tier 1 units for Sonic, having this many hunts is of course going to give him a lot of control in the early stages of the game, so he can set up the macro game here. But Cash must feel still kind of okay, given how far behind he was in game number 1, and still managed to come back. He must be pretty okay with the spot that he's in right now. 40 supply, behind experience, bit of creeping would do him good. But having those Serpent Wards on level 2 will definitely be... I don't want to call it a game changer, it's mostly about level 3. But it still is going to help him a lot against that army. I mean, it's pretty much numbers. It's quantity over quality, what we see from Sonic here. Quality comes in a little bit when we are looking at the upgrades, with 2-0 upgrades, armor upgrades, most likely coming in soon too. He definitely has a bit more of an oomph to that setup.
Forces are under attack.
But there's the attack again. Okay, there's the Entangle. That one was a Captain Obvious Entangle, but he can't really get too much out of that. There's nothing really to reveal anything here. But he sees all of the hunts. There's the first armor upgrade now completed. Still a bit of creeping from the Shadow Hunter, which means right now we have level 3 for him. Also Scroll of the Beast in the inventory. That's still a big deal. So whenever the attack actually happens, that Scroll of the Beast is going to boost his army strength a lot. Unless, of course, there's a couple of wisps around, but it doesn't really seem like that's going to be the case. At least none on the map really indicating that we're going to see massive wisp explosions against this. Yeah, but now with level 3 on the Shadow Hunter, he can definitely start to take the fight, especially since he's looking at 45 supply now. Frog, by the way. Ooh, double frog. Hey! What a Not cool, Sonic. Not cool. Not okay with that. Just saying. Alright. Off we go. And here we have it. Serpent Wards are in. Already a little bit of a Purge setup. Yeah, Treants are gonna join all of this as well. And that's free experience. That's a bit of experience for the Blade Master here. Still, I mean, the longer this lasts now, the better for Sonic, right? Like, he has an expansion, so the longer he can draw all of this out, the better for him, because his expansion is going to run. So if he can just run around the opponent a bit and play hit and run, poke, then it's great. But Purge is literally designed here to just shut that down. So he's just purging those units one after another, and without a Staff of Preservation, there's very little that can be done about it. So that's a potential kill against the Alchemist, especially since there's no down portal. Scroll of the Beast, Alchemist down, and he's gonna go for more with this. And he has Purge. Alchemist already eliminated. There's the heals from the Shadow Hunter, still on level 1, but hey. And also, more and more of those hunts are going to fall if he can chase them down. Scroll of Speed would do wonders here. Does actually have one in the inventory of the Shadow Hunter, but gets the kill against the Huntress one way or another. So the hunt is down. 53 supply for Sonic, 50 for Cash. And the Blade Master is still sniffing all of that out. He has more than enough mana to drop a couple of Windwalks here if he needs to. But the expansion for Sonic is still running, so we shouldn't really forget about that. Bit of a hit. Let's go. Bottom of the map. Expansion is underway. Been talking about expansions. Hello! Yep, the Great Hall. Alright. Another Purge, another hit, but Sonic is apparently just going to try and snipe the Great Hall.
A town is under
Yep.
siege.
Cancel or bust, baby. There's the cancel, and that Peon feels betrayed right now. Work. Peon dead. By the way, that's a Keeper that has to TP. Yeah. Purge, surround, and attack. That's the moment when you want to have a Hex, but he doesn't have one. So there's the Keeper TP. Yes, more resources down the drain, right? Forces him away, TP's out. That means... So there's a couple of things that Cash can do now. So now that he has that set up, he's going for the Watchtower here, but he can either build his base again, he can start creeping. He knows that his opponent is just back in the base and most likely also waiting for the Alchemist. So at this point, the Blade Master with the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. And he gets the creeping set up. Yeah, we still have 2 hunts, by the way, that snuck out and are now trying to take that Watchtower down. Those peons are definitely super pissed. I mean, you work all day, and when you're nearly done, there's all of a sudden someone coming in trying to drop you. Yeah, that's another cancel. And the fight is already starting across the shop. Blade Master in a bit of trouble. He's not the only one, by the way. Goodbye, Keeper. Oh, no, okay. Keeper gets staff back. Put the staff over. Yeah, for just a second, I didn't even see that he had that. And now the TP for his opponent instead. 1 Shaman down, though. But now the expansion is exposed again and had to be cancelled. Guys, Sonic! 62 supply against 44. Hero levels nowhere near what we're seeing for Cash, but he is just capitalizing on that second base down at the bottom of the map like there's no tomorrow. And if he loses here, then obviously there isn't. If he loses this match, then it's lights out for him in this tournament. Cash with the lead. The attack against the Overlord, Arachnatit. Spiders everywhere. And there's level 3 for the Alchemist. Does he have a town portal? He doesn't. These guys just running around each other. Yep, that's a dead tree of life. Ah, well, actually, here's a town portal by over here. Yep, town portal is bought. That's, by the way, also an ancient protector that he has just placed at the natural. But can he town portal quickly enough? I'm not so sure. Depends a little bit on those wisps right now. He's trying to go for the main base instead. He has already sniffed out that there's no town portal for Cash either. So Cash can't actually head into the main base to defend. So the base goes down. Guys, I've seen this movie before. I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie before. So now the main base is getting attacked again. What about those burrows? So far not being used to... it's trying to pair here. Is there anybody in those burrows for a little bit more siege damage? Yeah, just a little bit. 50 supply for Cash. 59 supply for Sonic. I have a bit of a deja vu. I'm going to be honest here. So, yep. Off we go. There's the attacks already coming as the Orc army is coming slowly to rescue the main base. And I don't think he can snipe this stronghold this time. Can he? Well, actually, I think he can. 2 upgrades. Again, I've seen this. Seriously, I promise you, I've seen this shit. There's the TP. It's too early. It's too early. Not this time. And he actually misses 2 hunts in the process as well. 2 hunts down. Cash's supply block, but he has 700 gold and 1,000 lumber. Huns are trying to get out of there. Yeah, good luck, boys. What? Okay, double purge, but they might still escape. He's trying to go for the surround here. I'm not quite sure if he gets all of them. Yeah, he gets both. Does he? He gets 1. 2. Do we have enough mana? Yeah, we have enough mana for another purge. Cooldown is ready there too. 2 hunts down. Town portal and 2 hunts down, and the expansion is toast. Oh, Sonic. Yeah, Sonic with 53 supply. But this is actually about as good as it gets for Sonic. I mean, the Moonwells are empty. That's the first problem. He's on tier 2. There's still the Edge Protector that needs to be taken down. Let's look into the main base here real quickly. Cash is already repairing, alright. Needs the Orc Burrow, is building it as we speak. Then he's not going to be supply blocked anymore. Level 4 Shadow Hunter, level 3.5 Blade Master. And over here, that's the creep pattern. Alright, get the heroes a little bit higher. Get some better items. Cut gas, pipe off inside. Deep Pfeife. Alright, gets the pipe. And I mean, it helps him a little bit. Would have probably liked a different aura item here, if you're honest about it for a moment. But now it comes down to the question. By the way, how many of these potions does the Blade Master actually need? I mean, I think it's a little bit greedy that we have the Blade Master with 2 potions of lesser invulnerability and the Shadow Hunter doesn't have a single one. So, sharing is caring, baby. So, yep. Caring is sharing, the other way around, you know what I mean. Come on, come on. No? Still no? Alright. Shadow Hunter is just sitting there, it's like, hey dude, like, seriously? One? At least one? You can have it back later if you use yours. I'm gonna give it back, but no. So, yeah. At this point, still the 2-2 upgrades. 58 supply for Sonic. And he's expanding now to the top left. So, at this point, Sonic with the expansion. And guess who's gonna find that? Blade Master is underway. Racing to the top left. Now the one thing that the Blade Master doesn't know is that Sonic has a sentry ward here. So he has 2 potions of lesser invulnerability. Should probably use 1. I don't think he can force the cancel there. Yeah, rushes out and gets actually entangled. Okay. Potion time. Waits for the second one, I suppose. And gets away. Nope, doesn't. Okay. Time for the potion. Potion in, and should get away for the time being. A little bit of a body block, but the Windwalk is ready, so he's gonna be Gucci. And in the same time, we have the Ancient Protector taken down. Grunts with 2 armor upgrades. Cash is at 50 supply. Again, Sonic is at 58, and the base is not mining. Doesn't have a mining base outside of his main base here. Down to the bottom of the map, this is just the Ancient of War. So, as the Shadow Hunter in particular gets more and more experience and is heading towards level 5, this is becoming an issue for Sonic again. It's 1 base versus 1 base for a little bit longer, and that's a setup that he definitely doesn't like. Look at the Blade Master, by the way. Blade Master went shopping again, and that means that we now have 2 scrolls of healing, and lo and behold, over to the top left, Cash has a Grunt. The Grunt should probably start to attack that. The seal of approval as the Grunt changes target and attacks the gold mine. Yeah, and Sonic with 61 supply, Cash with 49, but again, 2 heroes, nearly level 4. This time sharing the items a little bit, by the way. So at least the scroll of healing has been passed over. Sonic is about to attack the main base again, whereas, oh, Blade Master, is he going to double check? Yeah, he is, and that's a cancel he can force. He can definitely force that cancel. That's not going to be a problem for them. Doesn't have a Staff of Teleportation, though. And he has the base that Cash wants to build up. I like this series. Honestly, these two are matched perfectly against each other right now. I really like the style. Sonic the entire time with the tier 1 push with mad upgrades, trying to get the advantage here through his army size and also his expansion. And this is bad news right now. Nicely done, actually, with the Purge and the Scroll of Haste afterwards. The Scroll of Speed, but still. We see the force on the expansion of the bot lane, and the answer is no. So, bottom of the map, expansion is still in there. Blade Master knows that he's needed. So he rushes back towards the top to help out here. Uh-oh. That's a problem. And he doesn't have the Staff of Preservation on the hero. He's trying to block a path for him. Guys, that guy might fall. He's TPing out. TP's out to save the day for the Alchemist. Yeah, Sonic has some bad luck here. Seriously. Some serious bad luck. He's trying to do what he can here, but it is tricky. Now, the base to the top left is done. He is just entangling Goldmine now. Of course, that Grunt has done a lot of work, but a Hunt got set up to the top to deal with it. Hunt nearly running, or pretty much running into the watchtowers here. Now, at the bottom of the map, there's a second Tree of Life attempt. Actually, this one is also starting to entangle the Goldmine as we speak. Then again, no town portal for Cash. And it's an expansion trade. Up to the top, those 2 watchtowers are going to fall, and he has to cancel the expansion again. Sonic is shutting down every single expansion attempt that Cash makes. Watchtowers or no watchtowers, it doesn't matter. He just goes in and drops him time and time again. 2 level 4 heroes for Sonic, and Cash is still looking at that level 3 Blade Master. Yes, he's closing in on 4, but doesn't mean anything if you don't actually hit it. That Ancient of War is going to fall, unless, I mean, he needed to move it back a lot sooner than that. And now the main base is getting attacked again. And by now, Cash might have actually run out of luck. Okay, there's the portal. Sonic is actually sticking that out. Alright. Ooh, and that's the fight that he takes. That might be a bad one. Sonic is at 70 supply. Cash is at 45. And that's the end of the Shadow Hunter, or not. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability gets used, has another Scroll of Healing that he could use, but this is not looking good for him. Instead, the counter kill attempt against the Keeper. Keeper in trouble, but there's a Staff of Preservation on the Alchemist, so you can always staff him out, and boy does he hate that Shadowhunter, and for good reason. Use that scroll if you really need to, Shadowhunter. That's a mad army that follows him. He's about to die, actually, if he doesn't pay attention here. But the fight over here is also still ongoing. So now after the Keeper got staffed back, he needs to use a TP. That's exactly what he does. The Shadowhunter is still in trouble, still on the run. Run, baby, run! 21 HP. I mean, he's gonna die, isn't he? Yeah, there's the body block. Uses the scroll, and that's lights out right there for him. Shadowhunter down, GG, as we are heading into game number 3 between Cash and Sonik. This game deserves a third map, and that's exactly what we get. Let's jump straight in. Sonik takes down Cash on Northern Isles as we are heading into the third game of the series. Game number 3, the final map in the quarterfinals here at Ryzing Cup number 12, Cash against Sonik. Last Refuge is the map, and down to the bottom left we have Cash. And up at the top right, we have his opponent, Supersonic with Supersonic Huntress in game number 1. Game number 2, heavy aggression from him. Didn't quite pan out in game 1 as he expected it to, but game number 2 made up for that. The opening with the Keeper working out, whereas the Orc player is of course now going to try to cash in on all the experience that he gathered in the last 2 maps and all the information that he got there. So let's see if this time Cash is able to make a bit of a difference here with his second hero with the Shadowhunter against all those hunts. Always assuming that Sonik is, of course, going to play the same style. I mean, at this point, why wouldn't he? Well, we're going to find out very, very soon. Very fast forward Ancient of War, by the way, so going straight for the shop creep, apparently, with all of this. As you can already tell in the main base, Altar of Altars is done, and Demon Hunter opening. Okay, we're shifting things up a little bit, at least in game number 3. We're not looking at the Keeper anymore. Instead, it's going to be about the Burn. And I'm not talking about Sanders here. Nope, we're talking about Mana Burn, as the Blade Master is going up against him. Now, of course, Mana Burn against the Blade Master still helps you out. He can't go into the Windwalk, but you can't really dodge that critical with just simply Mana Burning him all the time. Once that you are setting up against the second hero, on the other hand, that's a bit of a different matter, and you might get a lot more value out of that, so that's something that we have to watch out for. Wisp is already in the opponent's main base, just shuffling around here and trying to check out what exactly is going on. All the way towards the top right, already the Moonwell in play. We have the Trio of Life just spamming out those Wisps 6 days to Sunday. With the Blade Master nearly making it out, but already the creep started with double Wisp repair, triple Wisp repair over at the Ancient of War. First Archer is out, and off we go. Yeah, one Archer against the rest. Blade Master is going shopping at this point, and has now the Dust of Appearance, plus also Circlet of Mobility. Alright, experience is already there. First item is also getting grabbed, and this is a Potion of Invulnerability. He has a quick Circlet for himself, and the Dust of Appearance too against the Blade Master. And as long as he's actually holding on to that Ancient, he's going to be in the perfect spot here. So the 3 Wisps are working overtime to make that happen. And as Cash didn't sniff that out, that's a really good opening for Sonik. Yeah, Sonik is currently sitting at level 2 already. He has a big boy item, and Cash does have none of that. So that's a very, very successful creep here. And I mean, he finds it out now, so he can at least snack the experience on the last one without any problem at all. He's actually trying to go for the Archer now too, so he might get both. In an ideal world, there's maybe even a chance to take down that Ancient of War, and I think he should be able to pull that off, unless there's a few more Wisps coming in to help out. But either way, Demon Hunter is going to get real low if he comes to that. Wisps are already on the way, and the Blade Master is really low. Demon Hunter, on the other hand, he's not really all that low, and he now steals the Claws of Attack +6 down here, and even more experience. So that opening for Sonik, really, really solid. Tree of Life taken to the Tree of Ages. Main base gets attacked a bit, which means the good old Wisp in, Wisp out game has to be played by Cash here. Doesn't really, or by Sonik, by both, by the way. That doesn't really get a lot done here. Down at the bottom of the map, the entire camp is stolen away. That's level 2.5, and that isn't too bad. Stronghold tech, obviously, for Cash now. But Cash is trying to get as much done as he possibly can in this setup here. And I mean, it's not really... It's night, Moonwells are full, you can always heal, can move a couple of those wisps away. Getting some additional structures in is more tricky because the Blade Master can force the cancel. But still, it's a setup that works quite nicely right now for Sonik after all. Sonik has the hero on level 2.5, got all the creeping in, can come into the main base, start things off with the mana burn here as well, as long as he has the vision. And now we have the Moonwell being built, tech is underway, so the situation is really a solid one for him. There's aggression coming from Cash, but I just don't think that he can do enough with those grunts right now to really seriously threaten Sonik. There's too many archers already in play in order to make that happen. And another mana burn is cutting that Blade Master short here in his tracks, so Windwalk is going to be of very limited use. He doesn't have level 2 yet, so there's not even a skill in the critical just yet. But with the archers around and the demon at the front, he's just trying to get his hero to level 3 as quickly as he can. That level 2 mana burn is a huge deal. Has Boots of Speed in the inventory, Ring of Protection +3. Lets that slide for now. Could always use the Dust of Appearance here and just simply grab the item afterwards. And the main base is still getting attacked, but those grunts, they have to be careful. They can't really stay too long, especially with the Demon Hunter having boots in the inventory. Makes things more difficult. Has, by the way, now also taken the last remaining items, so as expected, used already that Dust of Appearance, so that he has an inventory slot free for the ring, which he now grabbed. And talking about setup, talking about heroes, that Blade Master is still not on level 2. Shadow Hunter comes in as the second hero, where we have the Beast Master for Sonik. And now this is going to be a little bit more tricky, because that's, in particular, that Shadow Hunter was a huge deal in the past few games. And of course, with the Demon Hunter on level 3 now and a Mana Burn on level 2, you can imagine that that guy doesn't really, he's not going to have too many hit points here, does he? So Tree of Ages tech is in, gets more creeping done, Blade Master comes in, but might be a bit too late for this. Yep, and there's the Mana Burn action any second right now. First Mana Burn is in, alright. At least one of the archers is down. But they're still fighting around that Orc Warrior over here. Potion of Invulnerability has been grabbed by both heroes. So he found a second one actually. Makes those heroes, at least for now, nearly unkillable. And with Mana Burn after Mana Burn, those Orc heroes look really bad on the mana side. And now with body blocking, thanks to the Boots of Speed Demon Hunter, we have one grunt already down. He's trying to get a bit more setup against this, but that Beastmaster should still be totally fine. He can't even bait the Potion of Invulnerability out. Instead, he's trying to make a play for at least a few of these archers here. But the situation remains still the same. We currently have 37 supply for Cash. We're still looking at 33 for Sonik. Sonik has really solid items, is now starting to take those grunts down. Scroll of Speed has to be used, and he actually saves himself a unit here. But can he take another archer down? Blade Master barely has level 2. Staff of Teleportation in the inventory. That's worth quite a bit at least, but the Demon Hunter on level 3. 1.5 on the Beastmaster already. Yeah, of course, both play now around also those healing fountains over here. Grunt goes down, Quill Beast takes it apart. Nice. Quill Beast kill. In the main base, we by now have with the Tower and Totem a few more Spirit Walkers. And that Shadow Hunter is still quite low. First of all in experience, and then second of all obviously also when it comes to hit points. Down to 100 hit points right now, so he needs to be careful. That fight down here is still ongoing, and I mean the Raider is barely getting those ensnares through. Honestly, if not for that, that Shadow Hunter might be in so much trouble right now. But the Demon Hunter, at least up to now, didn't really have to use the Potion of Invulnerability. Couldn't get the kill against the Shadow Hunter there either. But since that bad boy is on level 3, that's still pretty nice for him. We have Ancient of Winds now being built, both of them already out there. And Cash, again, he needs higher level heroes. He needs to make sure that he gets a bit of creep going. And now that he actually pushed him back, there's at least a chance for him to get a few of those camps. But, well, Beastmaster's of course also in. And once he can level that bad boy up a little bit higher, that's going to be nice for him too. Okay, Druids of the Town are already being built. We have the Tree of Ages underway. The Adept training is in. And then we're going to get some Cyclone action. Old school. Yeah, Cyclone is actually one of the weirdest animations, I want to say, in Reforged. That always... I honestly, I've seen a couple now through the Wands of the Wind and stuff, and it just looks weird, is probably the best word to describe it. We asked Dr. Sheep earlier how he would actually judge the quality of the Cyclone animation, and the answer was pretty clear. He said immediately, like, bad. But yeah, we're gonna see most likely a lot of those, and then you can make up your own mind about those. But now with the Blade Master and the Gloves of Haste, got at least that. Looking over to the Beastmaster, Wand of the Wind. Kind of redundant if you think about it. I mean, it's a nice tool to have in the early stage of the game, but it's obviously kind of funny since this is what he's going for anyways. It's going to take him a little bit longer in order to get that Tree of Eternity out in the Master training, but hey, we're getting there. Yeah, armor reduction is obviously going to be helpful too. Third hero, it's Tinker time! Yes! The Tinker is in, ladies and gentlemen, and the Orc player is on the move. Right now, 46 supply for Cash. Again, time is of the essence as the Tree of Eternity tag has been reached. Master upgrade halfway done. More druids are being built right now, and Cash is obviously trying to be heavily aggressive around all of this and gets a few units destroyed in the process before anything else starts up there too. But Sonik is at 36 supply only. Cash is 10 supply ahead, so that's a big deal for him right now. And here comes the Tinker already with the Pocket Factory, and there we have it, the beautiful animation of the Cyclone as the first Wand of the Wind is being used and trying to keep the Blade Master out of the fight for as long as possible, and so far successful at that, I might add. Yeah, Cash at 46 supply is doing what he can here. The mana burns on the Demon Hunter, obviously keeping everybody else pretty low. Has in the inventory now also the Orb of Venom, which is also a huge tool for him right now to get even more damage done. And off we go. Cash is already on the run, and he's taking a little bit of a beating there. Still 10 supply ahead, but it doesn't really seem like he has a tool against this. And this is bad news for him, if you think it through for just a moment, because the big question is still, how is he going to play through that? I mean, in the long run, he needs to have something against him. I honestly, at this point, don't really know how he's planning to beat that army, because he just barely moved in before the entire tech came through for Sonic. And now that Sonic is actually done with the tech, has his tier 3 army more or less ready, he can start to also play way more aggressive on the map, therefore take bigger camps and get his heroes up to even higher levels, and that doesn't really bode well for his opponent. Once that those 3 heroes are a bit higher in levels, it's going to be incredibly tricky to play around them. That Shadow Hunter is still on level 2.5, so it's still a fair share away of getting level 3 or anything. Army is already in, Cash is at 50 supplies, Sonic is at 44, and again, those Master Druids are in play. So here comes that little setup down at the bottom of the right side of the map. Cyclone is in again, and off we go, trying to get a couple of additional kills in. Cyclones everywhere, get dispelled of course, that's what the Spirit Walkers are for. But the question is, how long can he actually keep that up? He's always on the retreat at this point. Sonic is at 45 supply, Cash is still at 50, but it really does feel like he has a big problem right now. And one of the problems is surrounding the Blade Master. He still has the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, but that's solid damage that gets pushed through anyways, and the item has to be used. He's already on the retreat, and as he's just on the run, there's one Cyclone after another that is being used to get those units into more trouble, and the Blade Master into harm's way again. He's trying to get the kill over here, and he is nearly going down. If he has another Cyclone to get the Kodo Beast alone, for example, that would already be a bit of a win. But as it stands, Cash is just on the run. Yeah, very little that he can actually do in this situation right now. I mean, not for lack of trying, don't get me wrong. But how actually are you going to play against that now? Yeah, it's tricky. Base is getting attacked. Honestly, Cash is in trouble. I mean, seriously. He won game number 1 and it was an insane victory that he secured for himself, but now he at least forces the TP on the Demon Hunter. That was a big, big move. But, yeah, trouble is brewing. So, as it stands, Cash is still on his 50 supply, has a level 3 Blade Master now. We have the Shadow Hunter getting a little bit closer to it. There's still talents all over the place. And now that he has the portal back, he can at least take the camps over here. But it is honestly starting to become a little bit tricky. Cash needs some kind of hit. He needs to take a hero down, or he needs to, in those fights, have some kind of angle that he can play in order to shut this down. Because as long as there's enough mana on the talents to just get these Cyclones through, he's going to be in trouble. He himself has to go for the continuous dispel with those, with the spellcasters that he has in the back. But it will be difficult to say the least. Level 3 Shadow Hunter, that's already a good step into the right direction. But those Spirit Walkers are going to have a tough time to dispelling all these Cyclones as the army size is just increasing for his opponent. And by now it's 50 supply against 50. And of course, now is still the chance to take also the big camps here. there's at least an expansion attempt prepared at the bottom of the map as Cash is setting up the first watchtower. But up to the top, that's an Orgalord that's down. That's a huge chunk of experience. And in terms of items, we get a Medallion of Courage. And Cash comes in just a moment too late. The Night Elf is immediately TPing out, is saying like, yep, not gonna fight here. Got everything that I want. Thank you very much. Doesn't lose anything in the process. Actually, one Talon goes down. But that's now experience lost. And, I mean, lost in theory. And on top of it, he also lost the item. And there's still, of course, the camp at the right side of the map, but yeah. Ancient of War, the Scout Ancient of War is going to figure out what's happening here. I mean, he doesn't really have to do anything about it. As long as he knows what's happening, it's totally fine. And up to the top, Demon Hunter nearly level 4. Beastmaster nearly level 3. Yeah, guys, I don't know. It's tough. Fight is already there, so he's trying to move in again for another hit, and...
The town is under siege.
Town under siege at the bottom, of course. That Ancient of War is starting to do some work here. I don't really think that's going to be successful, but the main fight is raging on in the middle of the map, so that's a different story. And he's already attacking, trying to lock him down again. Where are those Cyclones when you need it? Level 3, nearly 4 on the Demon Hunter, nearly level 3 on the Beastmaster. One unit is all that they need, and the Tinker is on level 2. Yeah, and Cash is taking a beating here. But he has that expansion at the bottom that he's preparing. Now, he's not mining from it yet, so that's, of course, the problem with it. Who's, by the way, winning that fight? It seems like that Watchtower is winning it eventually. But down here, there's already the Cyclone, as he's starting to move in again, trying to aim for victory. Can he make something happen? Doesn't really seem like it. You don't want to attack into the Orc base necessarily right now, so you're probably in a better spot if you just like let this play out for the time. Demon Hunter in particular, since he's still not level 4 and is a little bit low, those Orc burrows are becoming nasty. Expansion attempt now at the top left. Beastmaster in trouble though, has nothing, and Cash can get the kill. Beastmaster is down, and that's good experience for him, and also eliminates, of course, a couple of those Quill Beasts at least. Cash is holding on. Cash is at 50 supply. That was actually a big win for him. Sonic decided to fight into his opponent's base, which is, or was a bit awkward, and Sonic leaves the game! He leaves the game here! He couldn't take the expansion down of his opponent at the bottom right, and he's now in a spot where he just lost his Beastmaster and a huge chunk of the army because he fought into burrows, no GG, no nothing, and Cash wins a 2-1 victory after a completed tag for the Night Elf player. Great play by Cash here, nice turnaround, good patience, perfect fight opportunities that he took. And Sonic, I gotta say, it seemed like he threw it a little bit, but that's it. Cash moves on to the semi-final of Ryzing Cup number 12.